If you're trying to live as a good person, hoping that others will recognize your morality, your ethics, and your integrity, stop now. Machiavelli warned over 500 years ago, "This path is beautiful, but dangerous." In the real world, it is not the good who win, it is the effective who win. And effectiveness in the game of life requires strategy. It requires understanding that people do not act motivated by your goodness. They act driven by interest, fear, and power. In The Prince, Machiavelli writes, "Everyone sees what you appear to be, but few feel what you really are." This sentence is a punch. It unmasks the illusion that being true, pure, and authentic is enough to earn respect. The reality is harsh. People do not see your intention. They react to your appearance, your image, your impact. You may be the most just person in the world, but if you seem weak, you will be treated as weak. You may have the most generous heart, but if you do not inspire respect, you will be ignored. And that is why the prince, and here the prince is you, anyone who wants to take control of their own life, cannot be naive. He must appear virtuous when it is convenient and be strategic when it is necessary. Machiavelli says, "The prince must know how to use the nature of the animal well. He must be a fox to recognize traps and a lion to terrify wolves." This is a brutally true metaphor. The fox is cunning, sees hidden dangers, knows how to move silently. The lion, on the other hand, imposes fear, strength, presence. Machiavelli does not say to be just one or the other. He says, be both. Be wise enough to perceive who is manipulating you and strong enough to make others think twice before trying. Do you want to be respected? Then understand, the virtue that Machiavelli recommends is not the one preached by moralists. It is virtù, a mix of courage, intelligence, audacity, and self-control. It is to act with coldness when necessary. It is to know that sometimes appearing cruel is the only way to maintain order, not out of malice, but out of wisdom. Here's another quote from him. "A man who wishes to act in all circumstances like a good man is doomed to ruin among so many who are not good." And you know this. You have been that man. You have tried to be good in every situation. And what did you gain? Abuse, silence, injustice. People do not play fair, and if you continue to play as if they do, you will always lose. This does not mean abandoning your values. It means stopping using them as shackles. It means starting to act with power. To think about how your goodness is being perceived and used by others. Machiavelli was not cynical. He was realistic. He saw humanity without romanticism, without veils. And he wrote The Prince as a manual for surviving in a world where appearance is power and weakness disguised as virtue is a death sentence. But perhaps now you are wondering, is there any way to balance this? How can I stop being naive without becoming a cold or evil person? In the next part, we will break the false idea that you only have two choices, to be nice or to be cruel. There is a middle path, and it begins with the strength to stop deceiving yourself. There is a fatal confusion that destroys the lives of many people. The idea that to be good, one must be submissive. That to be a good person, it is necessary to accept everything in silence, forgive everything without questioning, and live swallowing what bothers you to maintain peace. This is not kindness. This is naivety. It is cowardice disguised as virtue. And if you do not understand this difference, you will continue to be the emotional doormat of the world. True kindness does not require you to nullify yourself. It requires awareness, clarity, choice. Being good does not mean being a cheerful fool who is always available, always smiling, always sacrificing for those who wouldn't lift a finger for you. This is self-abandonment. It is emotional dependency disguised as morality. Naivety believes that people will treat you with the same heart that you have. Naivety believes that the world is fair and that if you are integral, others will recognize that. Naivety expects gratitude, reciprocity, consideration. And it lives frustrated. It lives disappointed because it is projecting onto others a nobility that does not exist. True kindness is different. It is firm. It knows how to say no. It knows how to walk away. It understands that not everyone deserves your best, and that giving your best to those who have nothing to offer in return is waste, not generosity. You can be a just, compassionate, and integral person and still be feared. Be respected. Be someone who commands presence, who knows what they tolerate and what they do not accept. Machiavelli, despite seeming cruel to modern eyes, did not hate virtue. He hated naivety. He knew that in a world full of predators, kindness without strength is just fresh meat in the middle of the jungle. The question you need to ask yourself now is your kindness protecting you or exposing you? Is it strengthening you or destroying you? Because if your idea of being good involves living by swallowing injustices, accepting crumbs, and blaming yourself for feeling anger, then you are not being good. You are being dominated. And there is an antidote to this. There is a balance point where you do not have to give up your essence, but you also do not have to kneel before anyone. A place where you can act with courage, clarity, and emotional intelligence. In the next part, we will explore this path. We will talk about how to stop being nice without becoming a scoundrel, and finally, take control of your life without betraying yourself. If you want to regain your self-respect, this is where the transformation begins. Many people who wake up to their own submission fall into a dangerous mistake. They believe they need to become cold, insensitive, almost cruel to stop being nice. This is the famous rebound effect. After years of being exploited, you think the only way out is to become the opposite, someone tough, indifferent, calculating. But this is yet another trap, because when you abandon your essence, you are not strengthening yourself. You are protecting yourself through denial. And that's not freedom. It is trauma disguised as power. True liberation happens when you learn to be whole. When you stop acting for others and start acting for yourself. It's not about being good or bad. It's about being real, about looking in the mirror and knowing that you can be kind, but you will never again be passive. That you can be compassionate, but you will never again be permissive. That you can extend a hand, but you will no longer beg to be seen. So how do you stop being nice without betraying who you are? First, understand that your voice matters. You have been conditioned to think that complaining, setting boundaries, or disagreeing is selfish. But that is a lie. Selfishness is expecting you to live silently while others speak over you. Speaking up, taking a stand, saying, "I do not accept this," that is dignity. It is self-respect. Second, practice saying no. Saying no is one of the most liberating acts there is. And it doesn't have to be aggressive. It doesn't have to be shouted. A calm, firm, and non-negotiable no has more power than 1,000 justifications. Because it communicates the essential, you have limits. And those who have limits are respected. Those who do not are exploited. Third, observe who is bothered by your change. These people are the thermometer. If you start to assert yourself and someone says that you are different, you are strange, you are selfish. It's because your submission was useful to them. When you change, you break the invisible pact that allowed them to use you. And that is uncomfortable. But don't be fooled. This is a sign of progress. Fourth, stop trying to be understood by everyone. Not everyone will understand your transformation, and that's okay. You do not owe loyalty to the image they created of you. Your loyalty should be to your truth, to your peace, to your emotional health. Fifth, replace the desire to be accepted with a commitment to authenticity. When you act authentically, you may even displease some, but you attract the respect of those who truly matter. And more than that, you start to respect yourself. And that is the kind of respect that no one can take away. Machiavelli did not write to teach you to be cruel. He wrote to teach you to stop being naive. And the greatest naivety is believing that being nice is enough to be respected in this world. It is not. It takes courage to abandon the role of pleaser. It takes strength to be who you are without asking for permission. But this journey is not over yet, because now comes the decisive moment, the choice between continuing to sabotage yourself or finally taking the reins of your life. In the last part, we will conclude with a direct, brutal, and necessary call for you to understand that your obsession with being good may be costing you everything, and that the time has come to decide, do you want to be loved or do you want to be free? It's time to be brutally honest with you. How long are you going to keep pretending to be the nice guy? How long will you sacrifice your energy, your voice, your dignity, just to maintain an image that isn't even yours, but that others expect from you? Do you think this is virtue? That it's nobility? This is prison. Psychological prison. Emotional prison. A cell decorated with false compliments, where you are applauded for being harmless, for being predictable, for not being a threat. But I'll tell you something that perhaps no one has had the courage to say before. No one is going to free you from this. No one is going to come, thank you for all the sacrifices, give you the respect you deserve, and say, now you can rest. That's not going to happen. Because as long as you are willing to be used, there will always be someone willing to use you. This isn't malice, it's reality. And reality doesn't bend to good intentions. You can continue being that ideal of a good person that society has pushed onto you. Calm, patient, understanding, always available, always saying yes. But prepare for a future of frustration, resentment, and invisibility. Or you can wake up. You can decide here and now that your kindness will no longer be a collar around your neck, that you will act with intention, with presence, with firmness, that you will choose when to be generous, and to whom, that you will no longer give what you don't receive, that you will no longer live seeking the approval of others like a dog begging for affection. The truth is simple. The world respects those who respect themselves. And you will only be free when you stop asking for permission to exist. So I ask you, when was the last time you said no without guilt? When was the last time you put yourself first? When was the last time you did something for yourself without thinking about how others would react? Tell me in the comments. I want to know the moment you realized that being nice was destroying you. This conversation needs to continue, because there are many people living the same prison, and you could be the spark that wakes someone up. And if this video made you rethink your way of living, acting, and seeing yourself, then you need to watch the next one. Trust me, it's important. The journey is just beginning.